In yesterday's video, before the earnings came out on Sklz, I sort of said that we needed to see revenue in and around 105 or further up, obviously, to send this stock parabolic. That has not been the case. We have revenue in at about 102 million. The stock looks to be going down about 9%. We're going to get into why that is the case, my thoughts, should you be holding Sklz still, and what is likely to come today.
Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Something that happens by chance, I think not.
What's the crack, everyone? Welcome back to Buy Wholesale. I hope, of course, you are all well. Today's video is on Sklz. We had the earnings call last night. I had the whole dilemma: how much should I leave in? Should I leave it all in? Should I not leave any money in? What should I do? And I did my usual. I did the insurance policy. I took out 50% of my money last night, and that has proven to be shrewd. Here earnings, you never really know what's going to happen. That's no reflection on Sklz in general. Great earnings can send the stock to Cape Town, failing that it can also send a parabolic. You just really don't know. You don't know what way the short interest is going to play. You don't know really what way the expectations are. You just don't know what big institutions have planned for the stock. In yesterday's video, I said we need in and around 105 million for revenue to really send this stock parabolic. Unfortunately, it hasn't. It's came in and around 102 million, while beating the general expectations and seeing a 70% rise since last year. That's not enough, and there is a lot of red herrings within the revenue, which we'll get into in a moment. I just want to make it clear that I am invested in Sklz. However, I've only been invested in Sklz for over a week now. It's been on the radar. It's pulled back so much. My intentions were to swing trade this. Yesterday's video, I said, depending on how the earnings go, I could potentially be holding this long. I see a lot of upside. I still do see a lot of upside in the stock, but there is a few red herrings here, and we need to digest this and make sure that everyone understands what Sklz and what they're doing here. Okay, so first of all, we go to Sklz website. We can see here revenue 102.1 million, up 70% in the period, driven by 47% growth in paying MAU over the prior year. Gross profit 94 million in the third quarter 2021, up 66% over the year period. Net income 50.8 million, blah, 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 blah. I'm not actually going to read this all out because this is what they want you to see. It all looks very, very good. And it is very, very good. You know, the top 50 ranking of Fast Company's 2021 list of best workplaces for innovators. That's a good thing. And that maybe gives us a bit of an insight into the reasons why you would still be bullish potentially on Sklz. Is it Archive? I'm not sure how I said, but that was completed in the last period, which was about 150 million deals. So you have to consider that in the losses as well. But that is based in the full year 2021 guidance. Okay, so let's pull this down. So revenue in and 102 million, as we talked about, up from 59, 70% growth. That has to be said that at a high level looks phenomenal. But when you dive in deeper, the losses, guys, 28 million up to 81.5 million loss. Revenue up, but we are down. Company is gaped. Cost of revenue, I'm okay with that going up. That is what it is. Research and development, R&D, and sales and marketing is up to 114 million. And general administration to me is the big eye-watery one here, up from 8 million to 48 million. That's horrible if you look at it that way, but you need to understand, right? Sklz is a growth company. You have to do a lot of R&D. You have to do a lot of marketing. You have to do these things to make the company grow. So if they're spending a lot on all that there, you want to see the revenue balance go up, and you are seeing the revenue balance go up. However, you're seeing it go from 28.5 million loss to 81 million loss. So that is overall a bigger loss. More is going out than what is coming in. So you need to understand what is going out and why it is going out. We can talk about the Aokeo that we just talked about, 150 million pounds. So that is wrapped up, and that is something that will improve the revenue going forward for years to come. So if we scroll down, we can see here assets, current assets are up, double assets, over double on the assets, which is good. That means that they have a lot of cash and cash equivalents sitting there, so they're in a good financial state. They have no debts. Phenomenal, great. And total assets up to 811 million from 282. That is very, very good. Their current liabilities are down, so the debt is looking great. Looking at those two sections initially, I can accept this. I can accept the Sklz is where it is. For example, I invest in Teladoc, and last week Teladoc had their earnings come out. Now, I personally understood why Teladoc went down in the pre-markets. It was down about 6% because at the high level it didn't read particularly great. But if you understand the outgoings and why their outgoings were a good thing for a growth company, it showed that it was growth. You're looking at the key things within Teladoc, for example, subscribers going up. Sklz, the exact same. More users, everything you'd want in a growth company, everything that you want Sklz to be doing. The outlay seems to be working to bring in, to grow it, and that's ultimately it. You just want it to grow, so you need to spend money to make money, and I get that. Now, could it be managed better? Perhaps, because it's quite hefty, but that is ultimately it. They're putting their fingers in a lot of pies. For example, advertising 200 million. Wow, it's a lot of money, but what about the launch in India? If Sklz can launch in India, hopefully by the end of the year is what they're saying, that could send this thing parabolic. That's a huge big catalyst that'll bring in a lot of revenue. So advertising is a lot now, but advertising can always be stopped at any given time. They're spending a lot of money to take over this control of the space. In my opinion, it's a very competitive space, so they need to do as much now to hopefully grow and build the foundations for later on in life. Their apps, their games that are coming out, they look like they've been received very, very well. So just like Teladoc, when you look at the financials, it doesn't perhaps read the best of pictures, but if you understand why they're down and where the money is going and what that is doing potentially for 2025 or beyond, then it looks good. The only thing I will say that does not look good is this. Stock-based compensation, 9.5 million to 42.5 million. Pretty much that's just the owners taking money for themselves, and that is a hell of a lot of money, especially when the company is down overall. I don't like that. That's a lot of outlay, and I think that's a bit greedy. So I don't know the owners too well. I've not been in the stock long enough. I don't know the history. Please leave me comments down below if anyone's got their own feeling on that. But just looking at that level, I go, wow, that's maybe perhaps a bit unnecessary. And if we just scroll down then just to look at the users, as I said, 2.7 to 3, brilliant. Average revenue per user is up. Paying monthly active users is up. Average revenue per user up, gross marketplace volume is up. If they're having to spend a lot of money but are growing, I'm okay with that. That is what a growth company is all about. A lot of growth companies don't make the best of revenues because they are growing the company. If we can accept that that is where the money is going, generally speaking, that is where the money is going, then I'm okay with Sklz earnings, and the positives for me outweigh the negatives here. However, you must know the risks. Financially, the company can take a lot of debt on. It could write off a lot of checks. It can run unprofitable for several years. So if you consider all that and you're happy enough to let them keep building and growing as the way they are, then Sklz for me is still a buy. Let's have a look at the charts. We can see now the pre-market is looking to be going down 8.35%. If we look at this, we're only 1% down after yesterday's gains. If we went back to Tuesday, you're at the same price. So let's not get too worried here. Now with Teladoc, what happened was the same. It was 6-7% down in the pre-markets. As soon as the market opened, it went 10% up. On the day, I'm talking about a swing of about 15-16%. Not saying that's going to be the case, but the reason I keep making that comparable is because Cathie Woods is invested in both Sklz and Teladoc. She bought the dip massively. Will she do the same on Sklz? And that is what I'm looking for. I've left half my money in. I'm going to buy the dip initially. Even with this sort of 8% drop, I'm still going to be in profit, thank the Lord, following the ride-up that we've had. So I'm still going to be in profit. I'm going to buy the dip, and I'm going to be keeping a close eye on this. If the dip starts to gather up momentum and maybe we end up sort of 12% down, I will then be pulling out that money initially, and I'll be sitting very, very tight, squeaky bum time. But I'm not pulling out of this position because I believe, based on these financials, that they have made good moves going forward to the future. There's a few things that I maybe particularly don't like, but being honest, all the things I talked about in the other videos, the price targets, the fall that we've had, the trend that is developing, the interest around this stock today really could make or break, but I still see a lot of upside. So I'm still going to be in this, still looking to at least swing this, but we'll see what the uptake's like. But I think if we can get a serious buying power from Cathie Woods, tomorrow we'll be able to check ARK Investment. We'll be able to see exactly what ARK Invest have done. If they're buying this dip, then that gives me the reassurances that they are doing everything in their power to grow this company, and Cathie Wood is backing that, and you hold this long, we're laughing. Last thing that I will say is the short interest. The short interest was about 21%. It is now up to 24.6%. That is crazy. So there is a lot of shorting going on. So there's going to be a battle today. There's no way around it. There's going to be a battle. The bulls and the bears. Who's going to win? I don't don't have the answers, no one does, but trade carefully. If you're holding long on Sklz, I don't think you have anything to worry about, even with these financials. The good, the negative, whatever way you want to look at it, is kind of in the middle. You know, the good outweighs the bad, in my opinion. Maybe slightly it's a better earnings report than bad. But if you're just picking this up and looking at it without knowing what they're all about, it doesn't read well. So you need to understand that and keep a very close eye on where it's going to go today. What's your thoughts? What way are you going to play today? Are you going to buy that dip? Are you going to sit back? Are you going to sell? I'd love to know what everyone's thinking. That's the video. If you have found it informative, please like, subscribe, help me grow the channel. I appreciate everyone. If you just want to get some free shares, free crypto, there's links down there as well. And feel free to buy me a coffee. I will catch you in the next video. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence. Yeah. Coincidence.